let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. 6. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com. Good to have you along on a very cold, and I mean a cold, cold Tuesday. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give this video a like, and also set your notifications so you know when we go live. You can follow us on X at Rush Mornings, like the Facebook page, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and of course now you can follow us on the Gram, the Instagram. He's all bundled up. He's looking for heat. He's got 58 degrees in his house. It's the one, the only Ross Peterson. 58 degrees in your house, really?
It's pretty chilly in here, dude. Pretty chilly. My windows are 100 years old. I think my windows, they invented glass for this house. That's how old the windows are.
So we're talking like single pane glass?
They're old windows. As old as you can get.
How many windows do you have in your house? If you were to replace them all.
38.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. I did the math.
You know,
I am a little bit, so normally before we fire up.
Yeah.
The YouTube lets me know that we're going. I didn't get a notification today that we were going. That normally I get a thing that's like, The Rush will be live in 5 minutes.
Do you have the notification set?
I thought I did.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, obviously we're on. People are listening. Yeah. Jason asked, "Is the furnace working?" Furnace works. Furnace is working at full efficiency. Trust me, it's the 11 below and the single pane windows.
Yeah, it's nasty. I got in last night about 11 o'clock, okay? So I left Santa Fe yesterday afternoon. It was 50 degrees. I get to Las Vegas. We'll get to that in a second. It was 67 degrees in Las Vegas. I get back at 11 o'clock last night, and it is like -5. I didn't bring a coat to Santa Fe, so I don't have a coat. The most I have is a vest, Ross. And so we get our luggage, and we have to get an Uber, okay? It was a 40-minute wait for an Uber. And I'm like, you know, we could have walked home. Now, that would have been smart based on how cold it was. So I had to wait 40 minutes, only to have the Uber driver essentially get lost taking me home.
That's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. And it was...
And how did that happen?
Well, because for some reason, Uber always reroutes their drivers the long way to our house. It's the least efficient way to get to our home. And normally, we've always just said, hey, take a left here, take a right, you're going to be there fine. And I go to Anjanette. I said, should we tell them which way to go? She goes, she shakes her head. And so finally, we're in the middle of the drive, and she texts me, and she's like, you didn't notice. He doesn't understand English, or he doesn't, his very bad English. So I'm like, okay, so you just wanted to be quiet, and you added what is normally a 10-minute drive, made it 10 to 15 minutes longer? I mean, I was going through side streets in my neighborhood that I have never been on. I'm like, what are we doing here?
So, I'm gonna
you
love
know
this.
where I live. It's not a hard place to find.
I can tell already I'm going to love the conversation that we're about to have. I don't know why. I don't know. I got that feeling. I got that feeling in my gut that something, because I don't know anything, but you laid some breadcrumbs yesterday.
Well, I was already a little feisty, because we were feisty because we were in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Las Vegas Airport, not Las Vegas City.
Crazy. It's a spectacle.
Harry Reid International Airport is by far the most depressing place on the planet. Depressing. And you get off your plane, you're making your connection, and ding, 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 ding. I'm like, okay. I knew this was going to happen. I knew we were going to have.
And you flew in Southwest, right? So
flew in Southwest.
Is that's like that Terminal C?
And we flew into the B gates.
B, okay.
So, you're already like, okay. And I've been to a lot of airports. I've been to Atlanta, which is like the busiest airport in the world. I've never seen a zoo like this, an absolute zoo of an atmosphere. I'm like, it's Monday. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and this place is a madhouse. Now, for some reason, I wish airport planners thought like city planners and go, what do we need here? What do we need here on a really busy airport in Las Vegas?
They did. And you know what they decided? They need a cupcake vending machine.
Well, and you have the grab and goes. You have all that, right?
Okay.
So what airport planners don't seem to realize is that when people wait for their planes, they want to sit down. Have you ever been in an airport that has enough chairs for people to sit down and wait 2 hours for their connecting flight? The answer to that is no. And in Las Vegas, you've got people who probably just lost their house. You've got people who are trying to get out of town that are sprawled out on floors, right? You're like, what are we doing here? So then we were supposed to fly out of B9. We're waiting there in line. There's a flight going out.
Excuse me, please. Omaha passengers, you're now being moved to B19.
So I'm like, okay, we still got time. It's not too bad. Let's walk up to B19. Again, same zoo, people all around. Well, I see this old couple sitting in the chairs, right? You have a row of 4 chairs. And the dude sitting on the end, he's got his his briefcase in one. His wife's next to him, and on her, she's got a Coke bottle in her purse. And then there's another one on her, so there's 5 chairs. And Anjanette and I are like, we want to sit down. And so I walk up to this 70-year-old woman. I said, excuse me, ma'am, could you move your bag and your Coke bottle so I could sit down? And she gave me the death stare and started just mumbling under her breath like, how dare you ask me to move my Coke bottle in my purse so my husband and I have to sit next to people? When this place is packed, you have people just sprawled out on the floor, and there's open seats, but yet you try to save your seats by acting like there's somebody sitting there, and there's not. So I'm like, move your purse and move your Coke bottle so my wife and I can sit down. And she picks it up and then looks at her husband, and they get up and walk away. I'm like, really? Really? You're that upset because I asked to sit by you? I don't stink. I don't have BO. I'm dressed somewhat nicely. What is your problem? And then so we're just sitting there. And then in comes the UAAA baseball teams. And I tell you what, I don't know if I've seen bigger egos on young men and especially coaches.
Now, when you say young, USSSA can mean a lot. What age group are you?
I would say probably 14, 15.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, they're just hitting that masculinity. They probably just won a couple games in a Vegas tournament. And, boy, they want you to know that they play baseball.
They walk around like this?
Now, you know what? None of them were really wearing hats.
Really?
Yeah. They just, you know, they've got their gloves. But then it's the coaches who you could tell this is their life, right? This is their life. This is their life. As you just got done with this weekend tournament, you're like, come over here, son. Come here. And they get out the iPad. They're going through, like, pitching. You know, like, well, let's break down this. I'm like, you're just leaving Vegas and you're going to say, let's break down your batting stance, let's break down your pitching. And I don't know. It was just, I was feisty when I got home last night, and then to wait 40 minutes for an Uber and then have an Uber driver get lost, I was shot. And I finally got into bed about midnight. So there you go. That's my day.
Glad the old lady didn't get the full wrath.
It's self-awareness, though, right?
That's everybody, man. Everywhere, all the time, people are like that.
Why is that?
The Vegas airport, I think you touched on a lot of things here. I mean, there can be a lot. There can be a lot. Every emotion on the planet is going through that airport.
And then I went to some place to eat called like the Shake Shack.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, Shake Shack's the best place to eat in the Vegas airport.
You know what? I had an avocado chicken sandwich. My wife had an avocado bacon cheeseburger and an order of fry for $42. And I'm like, okay. She looked at me. I'm like, I go, it's the Vegas airport. What do you expect?
You said it kind of cut out. You said you both ordered a what sandwich?
I got a avocado bacon chicken sandwich. She got an avocado bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah, see, I think I say avocado. Do I say it wrong? Avocado?
I say avocado. You say avocado. You say tomato. I say tomato.
You don't say tomato. Nobody says
No.
tomato.
Is it? I believe it's avocados. Is it avocados? Does it really
I don't
matter?
know. I don't eat them. I know I don't eat them. That's what I know.
Really?
No.
Oh, you're missing out. Do you eat guacamole?
Dude, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm missing out? I've had them. I don't like them.
Do you like guacamole?
No.
So you don't get any avocado toast ever when
No.
you go on vacation. Okay. I've turned into a big avocado fan. Slice them up, put a little olive oil, salt and pepper on them. Good to go. Good fats in the avocado. And you're getting some support over here. People saying, "I'm with you, Ross. I'm with you."
The baseball team. Can we go back to that a little bit?
Yes.
So were they flying back to Omaha? Were they were a Midwest team, or did you get any details, or were they just in the airport? Were they on the flight with you, or just in the airport?
They were on the flight with me.
So they were an Omaha team.
Yes, I believe so. So I don't know. It's just I was feisty by then. I wanted to,
Have you noticed that you get feisty when you travel?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes yes. I do notice that. Thanks for pointing that out.
It's just every time you travel, you do have these amazing encounters.
Maybe it's because I'm looking for them. Maybe I'm looking for the absurd. You think that could be the case?
Could be, yeah. Yeah. Dang. You flew Southwest. Pat flew Delta. His plane land and stay on its wheels?
Yeah, it did. He didn't get back to like 12:30 last night. So yeah,
Didn't make jokes, but nobody died in that deal. Do you see that plane? Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes. And of course, everybody blamed the president because of it.
Well, not everybody, but people. Yeah, dude, come on. People will blame everybody.
Are you scared to fly now?
No.
I saw somebody on Facebook yesterday go, "Oh my God, my family and I are going to drive to Disney this summer because it's unsafe to fly now." I'm like, I wanted to say, statistically speaking, you have a much better chance of dying in a car ride all the way to Florida than you do flying to Florida.
Dude, those stupid doomsday DOT billboards that they hang over the interstates say 27 deaths this year. Death counter 2025, 27.
The fact that nobody died in that thing, and then you see the video of them getting out of the plane upside down.
Crazy.
That is absolutely crazy. Man, oh man. We do have an interview coming up later today. Chris Conley is going to be joining us just after 7 o'clock. You got a busy day coming up or busy week coming up at Wells Fargo Arena as the wrestling is going to get underway. So Chris Conley is going to jump on right around 7 o'clock with us. So
that'd be fun. Haven't talked to Chris in a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I was a little disappointed in him. I was talking to him yesterday. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing now, man?" I go, have you listened at all? He goes, no, man, I haven't. I'm like, well, you know what? It's the first time you listen to the show will be, your first time on the show. So that's a good thing. But he's been kind of busy, so we can let him slide on that one.
Yeah, right. He's a busy dude.
If you're trying to call the phone line at 515-517-2303, for some reason I just got disconnected, and Ross jokes about my phone line problem. So during the break, I'll reconnect that just to let everybody know. So if you're trying to call, don't worry. It'll be back up after that first break. Iowa State's going to – let's start with UNI. UNI got a win last night, Ross, 74-67 at Murray State. Now it gets interesting in the Missouri Valley Conference because Bradley and Northern Iowa just one game out behind Drake. 4 games, I believe, left to play. UNI has Drake at home coming up. And I'm trying to think. There's a lot of things that could happen here. I mean, Drake could be the number 1 seed. Northern Iowa could be the number 1 seed. Hell, both of them could fall down to be the number 3 seed. There's a lot of fluctuation that can happen over the next couple of weeks in the Missouri Valley Conference, but Northern Iowa picks up its 18th win overall and its 12th win in the Missouri Valley Conference. Now a game behind Drake, tied with Bradley in that Missouri Valley Conference race.
5 straight, 7 of 8 now for the Panthers. We've said it a couple times. The team is playing really good basketball. I mean, Murray State is they're a difficult opponent, man. They're not a great team, but they just kind of can ugly up a game, and that's a nice win after some weird stuff, right? Because this ended up being an extended road trip.
Yes,
because of the game getting postponed because of the power deal. I can't imagine that in any way benefited either team, but it certainly couldn't have helped UNI to be on the road longer, trying to find gyms to practice in. Really nice win. 4 left in the regular season for them. Belmont, Drake, UIC, Bradley. Oosh. Boy, that Bradley Northern Iowa game could be really interesting at the end of the season. But that game is only interesting if Drake stubs their toe, and I'm not rooting for that.
No, either am I. And then does Northern Iowa play again tonight against Belmont?
Wow, do they really? No, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
It's tomorrow night.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, 6:30 tomorrow night at Belmont. And then get ready for the home game with Drake.
But if you're Ben Jacobson, you would have liked to have that extra day to get off to get ready for Belmont, because they were supposed to play on Sunday. But it was the power outage moved it to Monday, so they get one day off. The good news is there's not much travel in there. You're already in Nashville. You just cozied up in the hotel room, and it should have been good after that. So, good win for Northern Iowa.
And honestly, good job of scheduling by the Valley early in the season to have we get Drake UNI, Bradley UNI. We get a real good fun wrap up to the regular season here leading into that.
And you really have no idea that that's going to happen, right? I mean, when you schedule it.
Yeah. I don't think you do.
Well, I don't think anybody thought Drake was going to be this good.
Not this good, but
no.
You had an idea that they. Well, no. Drake, you didn't. Drake was a question mark coming in.
Yeah, just because of the unknown and the new players, you lose almost everything. That's why Ben McCollum most likely and should be the Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year. Even if they don't win the Valley, he's
got to be the Coach of the Year in the Valley.
Yes, I think so. But what I think doesn't always come to fruition.
There's, but and my idea of Coach of the Year is usually a little bit different. I think it should be usually it should go to the coach that wins the conference. He's the guy that's been done the best. Unless there is a situation like we've seen here in Iowa now a few times. We saw TJ do it. We saw Darren do it. We've seen Ben do it. When you can turn a roster over in 1 year, when you can go from and Ben's is a little bit different. Ben didn't go from being bad or decent to being really good. He took over a good team, but the roster had to turn over. When you can turn over a roster and do it in 1 year, I think that's Coach of the Year type stuff. Now, if you win the conference and have that thing, I don't know who makes the argument to win it besides Ben McCollum this year?
Maybe Ben Jacobson. It's either got to be McCollum, Wardle from Bradley, or Ben Jacobson. But the truth is, the coaching job. Now, traditionally, when you hand out these awards, it usually goes to the team that wins and all that stuff.
Which I'm okay with in college.
Yes. But when it comes to the coaching job, Ben McCollum has done better than anybody would have expected. You have to turn over an entire roster. You have to formulate your own culture. You're bringing in Division II players. Now, we've learned that they're Division I players.
Right.
But you bring in a lot of players where you're like, well, these guys weren't good enough to play in the Missouri Valley Conference to start with. Why in the hell would they be now? And that's Coach of the Year stuff. Speaking of coaching, who's not going to be Coach of the Year is Micah Shrewsbury from Notre Dame. We should have hit this yesterday. I didn't because I was on the road. But Notre Dame lost to Louisville 75-60 on Sunday. Louisville. Lost to Louisville 75-60 on Sunday. Dropped the Irish to 11-14, 5-9 in the ACC. This is Micah Shrewsbury after the game as he was airing his frustrations, should we say, about
Good word. Good way to put it. I'll tell you, this is the thing. It builds.
It does.
It builds.
Very much so.
At first, you're like, did Travis play the right clip? This is the clip where the guy, it built.
All right, here it is. Take a listen to this.
Don't give up on these kids, man. What have they done for people to give up on them? I know if you're not with us because we're losing, you don't want to come watch this, fine. Fine. But do it because of me then. But not these kids, man. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve that. Like, ain't nobody else getting home at 5 a.m. from Boston College and going to class the next day and coming to practice and working out and preparing to play Louisville. Nobody else is doing that. Don't give up on these kids, man. I don't care about anybody's opinion. I know who I am. I know I can coach basketball, and I know I'm turning this program around. So you gave up on me already? I'm going to see you back here. I don't give a damn. Don't give up on these kids. Because we're going to get this thing rolling. I sat there and watched more Louisville fans in here than Notre Dame people. And that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing for me because I'm the head coach here. And yes, I got us in this predicament. But don't come back when we're losing or when we're winning because we're turning this around, man. You better believe that. Everybody that gave up on me, believe it. Write this date down and believe it. Because we're going to get this thing rolling. I don't care if you gave up on me or not.
Wow. Just wow. You know, we say we want fire from our coach. We want him to care. There's that line, right, to where it becomes, yeah, that's my coach, and then it becomes that's very uncomfortable because you're in such a bad state right now because your team sucks. And you're to the point where it's the media's fault because you're coming after the coach. Blame me. I put us into this predicament. Then it's write this down. You're either with us or against us. You tell Notre Dame fans, if you're not here now, don't come back when we're winning.
The don't come back. I love it. I love the don't come back. I'm probably going to take another job in a couple years, but don't come back. I get to decide. I get to decide who's a fan. Not you. Not you fans. I get to decide. If you aren't here right now, don't ever come back. Coach, shut up. We need everybody to come back. Yes. We need everybody to come back. There's something there, Travis. I know we beat this word up, but man, for some reason it's the word that comes to mind when I watch it. And I saw somebody put in our chat, man, that's a great actor. I think the word that came to mind watching that is authenticity. Because you said, man, there's something that's not right about that. There's something. We love a coach that fights for his players. We love a coach that's passionate. We love a coach that hates losing. Why didn't that feel like that? Why did that feel like a coach that was going through the motions of what a coach is supposed to do and say? That didn't feel real at all.
Because it seemed premeditated, it seemed scripted, it seemed rehearsed. Like it's been building, right? In the fact that you're 11-14, you're crappy in the ACC, and your emotions finally, and I don't want to say got the best of you, but you've been fuming, and you've been wanting to say it, and when you do rehearse it in your head, it comes off just like, really? You had to hit, maybe it was the hit the mic thing.
Dude, it just looks so, I don't know. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel normal. It didn't feel real. When Bob Knight did it, you felt like, oh, this guy's crazy.
Yes.
This guy's unhinged. He's gonna throw a chair at an adult. That's what Bob Knight's gonna do. You watch that. I imagine the reporters in the room looking at each other. He hits the mic and they go.
You know why? Because you could watch Bob Knight and you could see him thinking. I mean, he thought about what he was going to do. It wasn't scripted. It was, you could tell it was coming right from his quick-witted brain.
You saw his emotion before you heard his words.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it usually happened in his eyes. Usually he would.
Yeah.
And if you look at somebody's eyes, you can tell if they're serious or if they're joking, right? There's a great, John Walter showed this to me when I was working at KCCI. There's this great video out there of Bob Knight when he's with Johnny Orr. And Bob Knight loved Johnny Orr, loved him. And so IU came to Ames to play, and Mark Matthew is the former sports director at Channel 5, and was trying to be funny. And it was like, Bob, why is it that you have 400 more wins than Johnny, but Johnny has a lot less hair than you do? You know, trying to be, but it came off as this really weird, and then Bob just, he got that look in his eye where you thought he was serious, but you could almost tell, okay, I'm going to mess with him. Yeah. I'm going to mess with him.
Yeah.
And so he just gave one-word answers. And then you could hear him, you could hear Mark Matthew go, please, Bob, please, I need something. You know, and at the end he goes, thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it. And Knight goes, I didn't do it for you, you little sucker.
Yeah.
Which, it was authentic.
Authentic.
And hitting a microphone, blowing up, you know when it's real and you know when it's fake.
Don't give up on these kids, but don't come back.
And then it's the old tried and true. You don't get it. They play at Boston College. They get back late. They got to go to class. Don't point the finger at them. Point the finger at me. Okay, we'll do that.
That coach stuff right there is what just drives me nuts, man. Drives me nuts. Those are the same arguments that people like me were making for years about why the kids should be paid, and the coaches tried to tell us that those are all the reasons they shouldn't be.
Let's use T.J. Ottelberger as an example. Last week when he had that impassioned thing about the fans, that was authentic, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, great point.
Yes. Fran McCaffrey after the Rutgers game. I've seen Fran be maybe not so authentic sometimes where you're like, dude, are you just trying to be mean? Are you gruff? But after the Rutgers game, very authentic.
See that emotion. Yeah.
And the weird thing about it is you know it when you see it. And what I hate is this, and you see it with influencers all the time, and if you're on LinkedIn, everybody talks about authenticity. And what I don't like is I follow a lot of bloggers out there, and they're like, this was really hard for me to write. I mean, I'm extremely authentic in this piece. Who gets to determine authenticity? Me or you? Because I think authenticity can only be interpreted by the person who is hearing it, reading it, and interpreting it. I don't get to say something's authentic. I get to just present it. If you think it's authentic, it's authentic. If it's not, that's your interpretation. So if I were to write a book and lay down everything, it's the most authentic I've ever been. Well, I don't know. Because only the person who reads or hears it gets to interpret or determine whether or not that's authentic.
See, and I don't, again, that contrarian in me hates these buzzwords. I hate when words all of a sudden start to become meaningless because everybody's talking about being vulnerable and authentic.
Yes.
And the one that everybody in their office in the last year has heard the word intentional. We're going to be more intentional about our actions. What does that mean? What does that mean? You're gonna mean what? I'm gonna be more intentional about my words and my actions. Does that mean you're gonna get shit done? Is that what that? Because if it means you're gonna get shit done, I'm on board, man. Yeah.
I'm intentional with everything I do, right? I've never, if I've done it unintentional, that's called an accident.
I've been intentionally lazy. Does that was being intentional?
Yeah, if something happened that I didn't intend, it was by accident. And vulnerable was the word I was looking for too, not authentic. When it comes to, I'm being vulnerable here. Well, I don't get to interpret that. Only the person receiving it does.
And see, now I think vulnerable and authentic are two different things, right? I agree with you on the authentic. Authentic is in the eye of the beholder, like art.
Yes.
Vulnerable is something that I think can be a little bit more noticeable, tangible. When somebody is saying, when somebody's being vulnerable, I think it's a little bit more noticeable.
True. But sometimes people go, don't you understand how vulnerable I am? No, I don't. Because
they're just using the buzzword.
You're using the buzzword. Yeah. You're leaving out a lot of information during said vulnerability. 515-517-2303. I'm going to try to get that phone line connected during the break. I don't know why it disconnected. It may be hard because I'll have stuff playing in the background.
Hey,
now.
I did. So you changed the graphic, by the way. And now we got the little buzzing phone in the corner.
Do you want me to get rid of it?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Really? Okay.
Kind of distracting a little bit, but it tells people to call.
Yeah, it does. I was trying to add a little animation to our show.
I feel like once the phone calls start, it's one of those things. When we get a call, then we get 4 calls.
Yes, but they can't call now because for some reason I got disconnected, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to connect again.
Sean Brecky had a great question earlier. If the driver couldn't understand English, why did your wife have to text you?
That's a good point. Just in case.
She wasn't willing to say, "Hey, here's how to get home," but she was afraid to say, "This guy doesn't speak English."
It's the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.
Oh, boy. That's right, Brian. It's tailgate season, and Central City's got everything a good tailgate needs.
We have all the beer,
All the good party drinks.
And don't forget the White Claw.
hot dogs, brats, and chips.
Kegs and eggs. And if you fill up your cooler with beer from Central City, we'll throw in the ice for free. By the way, what team is this supposed to represent? All the teams, Brian. All the teams. I don't discriminate. Tailgate time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
Hey, I'm Mason out here at Mini of Des Moines, one of the motor advisors. Currently this month, Love is in the Air. We are doing a $1,000 mini loyalty on Countryman, $750 on all other models excluding the BEV. Also, we are doing a $500 Conquest cash on select models, so you do get a benefit even if you're not a Mini owner. So for more information, stop at our showroom, come see me. We're happy to get that information going, or see us on our Mini website, miniofdesmoines.com.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines, Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage and Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
It is the Rush Radio Show. Listen all day long at therushradio.com. Just click that Listen Live button. Or you can start it all over on the podcast, on all your favorite podcast channels. Okay, I got to own up to something. Because I know a lot of people noticed, and I think it was just yesterday, the audio on the podcast kept having like a little break-in. You could hear it like we'd be talking, all of a sudden you're like, you're listening to the Rush. And I think what happened was, if yesterday was the only day that it happened, it was my fault. Because I have to do something on our software that I forgot to do when the show started, and it might have screwed it up. Now, if you're listening on the stream and it happens again today, let me know, because I would have to go in and delete some. I'm sorry. I'll need to get Owen over here to fix the problem.
Our IT guy? We'll have to call our IT department?
Yes. Owen, the pro bono IT guy who knows this stuff much better than I do. But I heard it. We've never heard any complaints about it before. So yesterday was the first time we got a complaint. So just let us know. We're looking for feedback.
And all feedback, because we know we're on a lot of different platforms as well. And so it helps to know how you're listening and when, all those things. I mean, we get amazing data for feedback, but as far as like problems, or like when we were having issues when we very first started about some volume issues, really helped to be able to hear where and how that was happening.
Yeah,
so thank you.
Because I know probably people are like, they were blaming the iHeartRadio app for the audio thing yesterday. No, that was a Travis problem. We like the iHeartRadio app because people are using it to download the podcast. So we don't care where you get the podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple. As long as you're listening, that's the cool part. Ross, we were going to surprise you today, but unfortunately the phone line is down and I can't get it back up because, and you know how it's working, the phone line has been the bane of my existence lately. But we were going to have somebody call the show and let you know a little bit of news.
What's happening?
This is hard for me to say. And no, I'm not walking out on you after 3 weeks. I'm not walking out on you.
I love it. That hadn't gone through my head, but now I'm worried.
I'm going to be a grandpa.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations!
Yes. Abigail was going to call the show. She has the StreamYard link. Honey, if you're listening, if you want to join the show, go ahead.
That'd be amazing.
Ross wants you to jump on if you want to try it. But found out, I think, or you know what it was? We were driving to dinner last week, and we got this phone
cry.
call. And we're like, okay, Abigail's calling us on a Saturday night. What is up with that?
Huh.
Because, she just never randomly calls us. She'll call her mother, but she won't call us, like, together. And she's like, just to let you know. Well, it's not exactly what she said, but she said...
Can you share with us exactly what she said? These moments...
I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
I really am crying. If you can't tell.
I will tell you.
My eyes have watered up. I'm so happy for you guys, man. This is the coolest news ever.
I'll tell the story.
Okay,
now, you
don't have to.
No, I will because I've always been transparent with everyone. I hope you think that I'm transparent.
I need to tell you this. I'm honest with you. You know how you see these videos? You can find these montage videos, and you can find montage videos of people finding out they're becoming grandparents. It absolutely makes me bawl like a baby. This is the happiest moment. This is like the pinnacle of life, man. This is the tribe is growing. It's so cool.
So she set it up. She wasn't. You have to know. You know my daughter. She's not mean. She gets my sense of humor. Right? She gets my sense of humor. So it's like a Saturday night. We're driving, and she's like, "Hey, Dad, yeah." She goes, "What do you think's a better story?" I go, "What do you mean? What's a better story? A radio host having a baby in July, or you becoming a grandpa in July?" Because Sean, our former coworker, is going to be a father in July.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. And so she's like, "So have fun with it." And so that's how she told me. And it took her like a second for it to sit in. I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to be a grandpa. And now the big thing is, do I want to be called grandpa? The big conversation all week long in Santa Fe is like, do we go by grandpa? Do we go by mama?
And now, honestly, is that a conversation you guys have never had, right?
No,
you've never thought about that. What a cool conversation.
Ever.
What a cool conversation.
Because I don't feel like a grandpa, and I sure as hell don't act like one.
This is the type of thing that you might not get to pick. And I like when my sister, I'm the youngest in my family, and when my sister had my nephew Matt, who's now a detective on the Des Moines Police Department, I think detective already, anyway, DMPD. I mean, he's a man, 30-year-old man. My dad became Papa. And Papa. And that was not obviously my dad had never been Papa. My dad had been Dave, and a lot of people call my dad Pete around town in Pleasant Hill where we grew up. But Papa became then and now every grandkid, it's not Grandpa Dave, it's not Grandpa Pete, it's Papa.
Abigail just wrote in the chat. She goes, "Thanks, friends. Happy to pass my registry on to anyone who wants it." Always be closing, Abby. Always be closing.
Atta girl.
So I started
Hey, Abigail, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. This is the greatest thing.
Tyler goes, "There's the Travis in her."
Yeah, exactly.
Here's my registry, everybody. Send me a gift. Which would be super cool, by the way. But, yeah, so it's been a shock.
Yeah.
In a good way, because I still have one in the house.
Yeah.
Now she's getting ready to leave, and we're going to be empty nesters, but I'm like, oh, wow.
I would have been kind of like Greta. I was a senior in high school. Matt was born my senior year. So now it was early in my senior year. Obviously, Greta's going to be out of school and be getting ready to head off to college, and I didn't go to college. So I was around. But I can only imagine how Owen and Mary and Greta. I remember that feeling as well. I remember that first moment of, you're going to be an uncle. That's cool. That's a neat moment.
So I started looking up because, baby will grow up in the South. And so I started looking like Southern name for grandparents. And, Mima and Papa were it. And Jeanette's like, I'm not going to be Mima. No way am I going to be. I go, I can go with Papa.
Well, so I feel like maybe, so AD's wife, Judy, is from, her family is from Louisiana. Yep. And they use I want to say the French for grandma and grandpa.
I have no idea.
Can't remember what it is though. Darn it!
No idea.
They have a really cool one but it has that Southern connection.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's actually the French for it.
Now, did you just call your grandparents grandma and grandpa?
Grandma and grandpa. They were, and it was Grandma John. Or Grandma John. I came from a really progressive family, folks. It was Grandpa John and Grandpa Pete is what we called Grandpa Peterson. Now his first name was Art, and that's my middle name. We kind of
I didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Ross Arthur Peterson?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Uh-huh. So, but Grandma, it was we used their first names as well.
Now, Scott says you don't get to choose. The firstborn chooses. Well, that's not correct.
Scott, what happens is the people choose for the firstborn.
Yeah, the parents do, right?
Yes.
The parents will go, you want to go see Mimi, or do you want to go see Mama?
Scott's right that whatever that first kid calls Grandpa, all the other kids are going to call Grandpa. Scott's right about that. Scott, if you go one step above on the board, though, the parents and the grandparents are the ones that are teaching the kid what to call Grandpa. But your theory is right there.
I'm spending way too much time thinking about this because at the end of the day, I'm going to be a grandfather. And I remember the day Abigail was born, and she's coming up on her 29th birthday. And so now
possible either.
Tell me about it. I mean, and you've
basically
basically
had to plug my computer in. Sorry.
You've grown up with basically all my kids.
Yeah, I've seen all.
Abigail was 14, I think, when you met her.
Yeah, would have been about that.
Yeah,
just going into high school. Man, yeah, Greta was a little baby.
Little baby. Yeah, I don't. I think the kids are excited. They should be, but it's still one of those. Holy crap!
That's a holy crap, dude. That's a holy crap. This is like a huge moment. How is Anjanette?
Again, a little. I don't want to say shocked. It's still like
my baby's having a baby.
And it's a maturation of your own life too, right? It's like a signal that, we are getting older and life changes. But I think I know she's super excited about it because we were in Santa Fe and found ourselves not in sections looking for clothes for us, but we're looking at little 0 to 3 month.
Dude, I'm gonna cry again. The one of the coolest things in your life, Abigail, is watching your parents be grandparents. It's so cool. To watch your parents, they fill with this youthful love again that you never got to see as their kids. You never got to see them have this. I mean, when you're a parent, it's a worried love.
Look what Cole says. I don't remember how my parents were when I was 1, but I think my parents are enjoying grandparent life more than parent life.
Nick Cole, right there. That's exactly it, man. Watching your parents be grandparents is the second most magical thing to being a parent. You will find yourself stepping back at the table and looking at your parents and going, wow. Wow.
Who are these people?
But in an awesome way. It is that what do they call it in Pokemon when the things evolve into their next form or whatever it is? And that's what it is.
Gibberish to me.
But what we do as human beings is each one of these steps unveils new parts of us, man. I'm not trying to be too poetic about it, but that's what I've seen. I've seen it with my eyes, where you step back and go, holy cow. This love, it didn't change. It magnified in some magnificent way. You're going to love it. I can't wait.
Sean says this. He goes, I became a grandpa before I was 40. Definitely wasn't ready to be called grandpa, so I'm Gus Gus. First time she was able to say it herself was incredible.
See, that's and now Sean will be Gus Gus forever.
And I get that. My mom was a grandma when she was 38. She wasn't ready to be a grandma at 38. Now I'm going to be 55 this year. So I suppose, and I'm one of the last people in my graduating high school class to become a grandparent. We're one of the last ones. I mean, we have classmates that have like fully grown grandchildren. I wouldn't have been ready for that in my 30s and even in my 40s. I'm ready now. And so,
yeah, that's. I should have guessed this when you said I have news for you. I mean, that's how ready for you for this. You guys are. I mean, or it might pretty soon. I would have been like, Owen's getting married.
No, that's not happening. No. The only reason I said that is because he was in here the other day. He goes, I'm not getting married till I'm 30. I think he wants to wait till he's 30. And Owen's kind of a man of conviction.
Okay.
And now,
don't screw that up, kid.
Yeah, don't screw that up. Don't be like your dad. Your dad screwed a lot up in his life. Don't screw this one up. No, it'd be great if Owen got married, but I'm just not going to. I'm not going to push that on him.
Oh, that's great. Gus Gus. I'm using Gus Gus forever.
All I hear is, what was the mouse in, was that Cinderella? Gus Gus? The mouse, the little stubby fat mouse?
Now you're speaking gibberish.
You talk Pokemon.
There's a mouse in Cinderella that's a part of the story?
The mouse, the mice are a huge part of it.
What do you mean a huge part of it? I can tell the entire story of Cinderella without mentioning a mouse.
Oh, no. In the animated
sure
Disney
can.
Original.
Lady loses a slipper. Prince finds the slipper. Prince finds the lady.
Yeah, but the mice are the funny ones. The mice are the ones that get turned into to horses that haul the pumpkin carriage around. You don't remember that.
And I'm the one for mentioning a Pokemon thing. I'm tell me more about the lady who turns into a what? What'd she turn into?
The lady?
Cinderella?
Cinderella went from being a princess into the maiden again, right? Just the.
Sean says you've got it right. It's from Cinderella. That's where it's from. I didn't know that. I'd never heard of that.
See, you learned so. I learned something about Pokemon today. You learned something about Cinderella. And that's the difference in our kids, though, Ross, because Abigail was born in 1996. So we had VHS copies of like Cinderella, Snow White, those classics. Oh, look what we got here. Let's see if she can hear us.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Got you loud and clear.
We were testing this last night, and Dad was having trouble hearing me.
Can you believe that? I had IT trouble.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I actually hopped on to tell you that Cinderella's mice are a very large part of that story.
No, I told the story in 3. Did you not hear it? I just told the entire story, 3 acts.
Yeah, but who gets turned into the horse and carriage?
Why does that matter? What does the horse and carriage...
How'd she get there?
The horse and... How did she get there?
How'd she get to the ball?
Well...
She's got you there, Ross.
No.
She's
Whatever.
got you.
And its name was just Gus Gus. You were correct.
Thank you.
All right. That's where I got... Okay.
So, I should ask you, when is the due date?
We just were told end of July, early August.
All right. So, Ross, half of the show may originate from Mississippi for a couple years to come.
It probably should. That was part of the thing I was going to get to is like, you're going to be spending a lot of time down there, and you should. You guys should.
I don't know if she wants us.
Well, that's a good point.
No, I'm sorry. She wants her mother down there. I don't know if she wants me down there.
I'll get over yourself. Well, you talk all about your tiny house you're going to build on our property. So
I do that a lot. She's got an acre and a half down there.
Yeah.
And I got a nice spot for a little tiny house. I can just put a little vacation home down there.
We had a guy come talk to us the other day about building tiny homes and like going through some of the regulations and what exists here in Iowa. But you've got, if you've got an acre, you got room for 3 or 4 tiny houses.
By the way,
just plan on a family, what do you call it? Commune. That's what it'll just be.
Yeah. By the way, if you haven't noticed with these tiny houses, especially the prefabbed ones, it's now a fancy name for a mobile home. It's a fancy name for a single wide. That's all it is.
Listen,
fancier.
I would say I've seen some floor plans that look a lot nicer than
100%.
Yeah.
But it still you bring it in on a trailer, you put it in on the foundation, and you plug it into the septic tank. It's a mobile home.
Abigail,
Just
I've also seen a lot of people say they love your idea of giving your registration, but plan on a lot of people buying you toilet paper for when your dad visits.
That's good. I have a whole bathroom set up in there for him.
There's
I think about it every time
There's a
I'm
whole
in that room.
station for him. Looks like a dog washing station, but we just call it the dad washing station.
Exactly.
All right, sweetie. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
I'm excited. And of course, now that we've made the announcement here, everybody's going to follow your journey because I'm going to talk about it in great abundance. So
Sounds good. All right. Have
sweetie.
a good day.
We'll see you
Happy
later.
Tuesday.
You too.
The best. Cool. Happy for you, buddy.
Thanks, man. I'm excited. Now we wait and end of July, and which is weird timing, right? And even her mom's a little worried about it because it's like you have the baby. Anjanette's a teacher. They start like August 8th, and then we have to take Greta to Savannah. And we were going to fly Greta to Savannah, and I'm like, hey, I think we drive it this time because we can stop halfway down and see the baby and stay a couple days. So we'll go ahead and do that. And she's like, okay, we can do that. But yeah, Grandpa Travis.
I guess I'm in my geography is that bad. I was thinking that Mary was south of where Greta's going to be. Or I mean, I was thinking Abigail's south of Greta.
Oh no, Greta's a lot farther south.
Savannah's way down there.
Yeah, way down
okay.
there.
See, that's how stupid I am.
But the girls will be in a triangle now. They're literally like all 8 hours from one another, so which isn't bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another break. We're going to come back, and Chris Conley from the Iowa Event Center, Wells Fargo Arena, is going to be joining us. A lot going on at Wells Fargo Arena, and Chris Conley next on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bobby here at Land Rover Des Moines. Just wanted to say it's February, so I invite you to come in and fall in love with a Land Rover. We've got over 43 of them in stock and 2.9% financing on select vehicles. You'll never find a better time to fall in love with something just like this. So call, click, or visit us at LandRoverDesMoines.com or stop down in the showroom and see one in person. You'll be glad you did.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program. It's huge.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage and Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage and Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage and Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Hi, I'm John Linares, Sales Manager at Willis Lexus, and this month we're going to help you find your perfect match. Stop out and see us. We've got great inventory of NX and NX Hybrid, TX, and ES. We have more inventory arriving daily, and this month Lexus has also brought back the very popular 42-month lease. Stop out and see us or visit us online at willislexus.com.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Do you have a pest problem? With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
Number 2 of the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com. If you're just joining us, thank you very, very much. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give this video a like. Also hit those notifications so you know when we go live. Follow us on X at Rush Mornings. Like our Facebook page. And, of course, you can always now follow us on Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He is Ross Peterson. What's going on, everybody?
Not much. Did you, by chance, see the text I just sent you?
Oh, I did not.
I literally sent it while you were doing the intro there. So,
okay.
We're gonna have a fun giveaway later today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've got a fun giveaway for you. Okay?
We like fun giveaways.
We have a pair of tickets to the Iowa State men's game versus Colorado tonight, along with tickets to Johnny's for that game. So, want to stay warm? Huh? Want to go to Hilton? We'll come up with something here in this 7 o'clock hour. So stay tuned, and we'll have some tickets for you here on The Rush.
That's really, really cool. You know, it's been a while since we've caught up with our good buddy Chris Conley from the Iowa Event Center and Wells Fargo Arena. And I was sitting in the Santa Fe airport yesterday, and I said, hey, Chris, you want to come on with us? And he has decided to come on with us, which is nice. It's been a while. I'm glad you're able to find us, Chris.
It has been a while. Appreciate the invite. And hey, guys, really excited about this opportunity for you guys. The great new show, great format, pretty cool.
It is fun to see you. It's fun to be able to do this. You can sit at your office rather than have to, stand outside the building till somebody comes and races to let you in.
Well, I was thinking about that. I never saw both of you guys at the same time. So this is actually a little better.
That's a good point. Right.
Wow. It's true. I mean, we have talked how many times over the last 14 and a half years, And the only time we ever saw each other was really at events. I don't think we've been in a studio together at the same time before.
No, I think we did a couple cool things at Buzzard Billy's during state tournament, NCAA basketball, a couple of those things, but that's about it.
I was at Buzzard Billy's last night. I was picking up dinner for the kids and me, and walked in that basement and thought about that very thing, Chris, and how that's the best utilization of that space down at Buzzard Billy's in the basement is when you've got something great happening at Wells Fargo Arena. So, like, just big picture, when is the next time we're going to have something that large, that's that big of a community draw?
Well, I mean, I'd argue this week with Iowa State wrestling.
Oh, duh. Oh, holy cow. Yeah, you've got, yeah. I mean, I'll be down there. My nephew's going to be, I got a lot of kids I know that'll be wrestling.
I thought you were just leading me into that, but yeah, state wrestling this week. So I'd say that's pretty big.
No, I really was trying to think of like the NCAA stuff or like, those great big, but you're right. I mean, wrestling is such a draw.
It is. It's huge. Man, I'll tell you, this is the busy time of year. That's why, like, you guys invited me on today. There's so much to talk about. Last week with the bad weather, we got super lucky that it hit on Wednesday because Tuesday was the Iowa Wolves school day game. We had Wolves game on Thursday. We had Wild on Friday. They had their Pink in the Rink night on Saturday. And then we had Home and Garden all weekend. So we're as busy as you can be right now. We got lucky last week.
Over the next couple of weeks, you've got wrestling, you've got girls basketball, boys basketball. What is the economic impact to Central Iowa and Des Moines with just those three tournaments back to back?
I mean, it's millions. I mean, it's massive. I mean, that's more of a Greg Edwards question, I think, for him. But, I mean, what people don't realize, like, they think there's a break in between. But we'll go state wrestling this week. And you guys know the Saturday night sells out every year, 14,000 people. And then next week, we roll right back into it. The next weekend is AAU wrestling, followed by girls basketball, followed by boys basketball, trying to fit the Wild and Wolves all in there to finish out their season. I mean, it is a crazy schedule, and it's awesome.
So the Wild are playing at home during the tournaments?
Not during the tournaments. We don't have anything then, but they do fit in next week after state wrestling, right? Like, we have some time where there are Wild and Wolves games. And then, boom, you go right into those state tournaments. And the last couple of weeks of March, it's mostly Wild and Wolves games.
How many days off do you guys even have? I know some – are there days off?
There's not many, and it's great. I mean, like, we're just talking about the arena too, right? Like, we talked about Home and Garden last weekend. During girls basketball, every single year we have the Iowa Deer Classic. That's one of our bigger consumer shows in the building. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, if you haven't seen Deer Classic, it's unbelievable. That happens at the same time as girls basketball, and everybody traveling in for basketball goes over to Deer Classic. So it's an extremely busy time, but it's exciting. Like, it's awesome. It really is.
Okay, now you've piqued my interest. You say it's awesome. What is Deer? If I were to go to Deer Classic, what am I getting?
It's an outdoor show. It's a hunting show, guns, fishing, all that kind of stuff. It's got everything, and it's like an institution here. If you have not seen it, it's pretty unreal. If you try and come in the middle of the day on a Saturday, you're probably not getting too far on that main floor. That's how busy it is.
Wow. Travis, that's a good description, but like there's a hall of, I can't think of what they call it. I don't want to call it Hall of Heroes, but it's like a Hall of Fame. Yeah. When you go in there, the best mounts of the year are all like guys. Basically, it's a competition. That's part of the show, is a competition to have your mount judged and graded, and then they give away awards, kind of like blue ribbons at the fair, but these are all for deer mounts. It is really cool. They have shooting displays there. So like if you have a kid that is interested in shooting a bow and arrow but never has, and you don't want to go spend the hundreds of dollars that it takes to get into it, you can take them there and they'll kind of walk them through that and help that. If you do have a kid that's into it and has a really nice Hoyt bow, you can take them down there and there's you know what I mean? There's like it is an all ages, all skill levels. If you've never hunted, if you are a hunting advocate, it's a fun thing to go do.
Yeah, and I'd say too, we sell as much beer during that show as we do during a normal country concert. So it's funny. You see those people in there, and then you see the mix of the people that are in for girls basketball. It's awesome. It really is. Ross, you hit the nail on the head too. It's like they actually have archery contest in Hall A in the basement of the old vets. It's really, really cool. It's a huge event for us.
I didn't know that. It's a neat thing, Trav. There, again, something for everybody at the Deer Classic.
When's the last time either one of you, shot a bow and arrow?
Oh, it's been a couple years, but Eli was a kid, and it was down at the Iowa Deer Classic. Eli was in Boy Scouts and had a bow and arrow, and he was into that for a short period of time. I probably should have kept him engaged.
It's Scouting America. Would you get it right? There's no
Sorry.
Boy Scouts anymore. It's Scouting America. Get it right.
Sorry.
Have you ever fired a bow and arrow, Chris?
I have not.
I want to do the crossbow. Crossbow looks like a lot of fun to me. You know, you got the compound bows, but I want a crossbow. I'm gonna load that thing up and fire it.
It's super popular, guys. Like the whole hall is packed with people that are just in there, and like you have younger kids that it looks like they've been doing it for a while. It is neat. I'll tell you, February into March, like it's our best time of year. Really, there's not many days where you have a break, and it's the tough thing is like you're looking at the weather every single day too, right? Because like if you have weeks like last week, that can really blow up a state tournament and make it difficult. So fingers crossed. I know it's cold out, but it looks better after we get through the cold. And I don't know. I mean, we honestly, between the convention center and arena, we just don't get much busier through these 2 months.
What do you got brewing? Can you tell us anything you got brewing? Are there going to be some big announcements coming down the pike?
There are. It's crazy, guys, and it's good timing for this because usually in early October through early December, there's a ton of concert and show announcements, right? Like that's our money making time. You know, a lot of tours are being announced and they're going on sale before the Christmas time, right? Like it's a great gift. It's a good way to sell tickets. And guys, we didn't see that this year. It's super quiet. And a lot of it, people were pointing to the election and advertising spent on that, the uncertainty. And I would also say that, and this is like across the board, like all of our company buildings in Oakview Group, everybody's down in the spring and summertime. And I think some of it too is like, look, we saw like a 2-year explosion out of COVID, right? Where everybody toured. And now I think it's one of those times where there's a little bit of a valley. So we're slower in the spring and summer than we normally are. But the cool thing is we just announced a couple concerts over the last couple of weeks. We got Shinedown coming in April, and we got a pretty good April coming up. We have Mercy Me. We have a Brooks and Dunn show. That could be it for them in Des Moines, right? And that's just about sold out. We have Shinedown. We have Shane Gillis coming up in May. He's in the round, guys. Like he's going to do 14,000 plus. We have Matt Rife, the comedian, in June. And then we just announced Aldine for September. So, Trav, to answer your questions, it's starting to build. There's nothing firm that I can say right now, but there's things building.
All right, so I've got a sports-related question, and I'm going to play Omaha against Des Moines here.
Sure.
It's not really playing against each other, but I want to know the popularity of it. And, Ross, you may not be aware of this. Omaha has 2 professional volleyball teams. And people are going to go, what, volleyball? The Supernovas are putting $13,000 a night in for professional volleyball. $13,000 a night. Is there an appetite for professional volleyball, and it's women's volleyball, in Des Moines? Now, Nebraska is a volleyball state, right? Their volleyball team is
youth volleyball is growing very rapidly in Iowa. And Travis, it's a really fun sport to see live. When it's played at that high level, I mean, I've been lucky enough to be in the Grandview gym when those NAIA teams are playing, and you're blown away by the athleticism of it.
All right, so you're probably not going to like my answer, but I'm going to be honest about this. No, I don't think so in Des Moines.
Okay, I think that's the answer too, Chris.
And I have a pretty good frame of reference for it. Like, where's high school volleyball and volleyball in general popular in the state? It's on the eastern side. It really is big over there, and I see it. Like Coralville hosts the girls' state championships volleyball, right? And it packs them in. And most of those teams, the strong teams, not all of them, right? We have some good CIML teams, but it's big over there. But guys, I'm telling you, in Extreme Arena, we host Iowa women's volleyball, right? And they're doing okay. They're building the program back up, but it's nowhere near Nebraska. For Nebraska, when they play Nebraska, we're trying to figure out how we can sell more tickets in that building because they just buy them up, Trav. It's people that buy season tickets that aren't coming over, but they're just buying the tickets anyway.
Well, do you guys manage Ralston Arena, right?
We do.
Okay, so here's the funny thing, Ross. There's 2 professional teams. The Supernovas are the ones that play in the CHI Center. They're not the best team. The best team, Olympic quality, is the one that plays in Ralston Arena, but they weren't the first team. So you have Olympians that play on what is considered maybe the second-tier team.
Yeah.
But they would beat the team that sells 14,000 a night at the CHI Center.
It's crazy, guys. I mean, look, I think it's on a different level over in Nebraska, and I think that's why they're doing the business they're doing. I think it's great here, and I think it's building, and it's good for us over in Coralville, but I don't think it works for Des Moines. I just don't. I mean, everybody's like, I get questions about WNBA and other things, and like that world is not easy. Number one, like you talk about WNBA, would we like to have a team here? 100%. Do I think it would do well? Yeah, I do. But not every team has a Caitlin Clark. And like, when does that end? I don't know, And what is happening right now? Yeah. But it's an explosion now. And like with that, the franchise fee to get a franchise is way up there. And like the top cities and buildings are going after it. And I think it would be hard for us to get it. And my comment, and like, again, we would love it and would fit in great in my building. But it's like we already have a couple tenants in the building, and it's like I got to look at that too. Like we have long-term relationships with the Wild and Wolves and Barnstormers.
And what season, Travis, is that volleyball season happening right now?
Right now, it's going on right now.
I mean, so do you want to give up again? Think of what the conversation we started with is: do you guys even have any days off this month?
No,
and makes
that's
it hard.
The thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like. The Wild and Wolves are looking for more dates than a long Adnan team.
If it were a summer league or something like that, Chris, if there were some sort of, because with the Barnstormers, outside of the Barnstormers, it seems like that would maybe be an easier schedule availability season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
if you, excuse me, even if you go to WNBA, like, man, that fits in. That's early May through September. That would be ideal in my building. Like it could work. And there's been interest. It's just hard to start up and run a professional franchise and be successful. Everybody just thinks it's automatic. Like the Wild and Wolves and Barnstormers, they do a great job, but man, it's a grind. Guys, it really is. And then you look at the Wild, like I'll use them as an example, and the Wolves too, and the Barnstormers, but they do such a good job promoting that team and grassroots, and people come. Guys, we had 7,000 people in on Saturday night for Pink in the Rink when it's like, what is it, -10?
Yeah.
And they're not good. And I don't say that. I say that with all due respect. They're not good this year. And some of it has to do with guys going up to Minnesota, but that is so hard in the minor leagues, right? And they still sell tickets.
Chris, I was going to ask that because I've noticed that this year, and I've been down there and seen the arena. Yep. They've done such a good job over the last decade of building that thing very slowly, very slowly. Is there something they've done that you would say is kind of the magic behind that? Because they don't have to win, and they're still getting this loyal fan base that's showing up to support them.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think there's a number of things. Like, number one, I'd start with Minnesota Wild, okay? If you have not been to the XL Energy Center to see a game, I mean, that's what hockey's all about. That building was built for that team. It's hockey sight lines. It's all hockey up there. Like, our state wrestling, the equivalent up there is state hockey. Like it's the state of hockey. And that franchise, man, just go. If you have an opportunity, take Eli, go to a game sometime.
We've been up there, Chris. Yeah, it's incredible.
So it's like their game production, it comes down here. It's the same type of thing. Ever since we met with Craig Leopold, the owner, and they made a decision to come to Des Moines. I mean, with all due respect, they have an army of staff. And they're not messing around. You don't make money in the AHL, right? It's a developmental ground, but they also want to put together a good product. And a year like this, where they're not playing well on the ice for various reasons, they're still killing it off the ice. Like, look at all these portable rinks they're putting together.
Yeah.
We don't have high school hockey programs here. And they have a season ticket base of, like 2,500? I mean, it's amazing what they've done. I think it's cool to come to a game. If they lose, there's still a lot of cool things to see, and they make it cool.
Well, it shows you that people want an experience, right?
No
and if
doubt.
they're not having a good experience, they won't come. That's how minor league baseball thrived for years. It wasn't necessarily the baseball. It was the experience you had at the stadium. Now, sometimes colleges put together a good experience, but I think it's hard to compare minor leagues with even college because, fans want wins. And they want a good experience, but part of that experience is winning. So that's part of it.
I couldn't agree more. And like I talked about the Wild and what they've done with Pink in the Rink, like just a couple weeks ago, the Wolves did a state fair night. Okay. And it was cool. Like they did all the stuff, like our funnel cakes and all the state fair foods were half price. They have different things like your hammer toss and different stuff on the concourse. That's cool to come to. these kids that are younger, they don't care if the Wolves won or lost that night, but they came and they had a great experience. And I think that's what these teams here are doing a great job. And it's not easy, right? You have 36 hockey games, 24 basketball games. You got to create that experience every single time. And I think they do an awesome job here, but it's a grind.
Chris Connolly joining us from the Iowa Event Center, Wells Fargo Arena. You got state wrestling coming up, state basketball, both boys and girls. You heard him talk about a lot of other stuff. People want to know any more maybe NHL preseason games. You had one last year. You also had the NBA preseason game.
Yep.
Do you anticipate more of that stuff?
I feel like just in talks with the Wolves and the Minnesota folks, I think we're going to have an opportunity pretty regularly between Minnesota, Wolves, and the Lynx to play a game here. So the answer is yes to that. As far as hockey goes, it's a little trickier with scheduling with Minnesota. We caught a great break through our company last year getting Utah in. That all went through Arizona, who was playing in an Oakview group building. But what I would say, Trav, is they came in, Utah came in. That was their first professional game ever. You had a lot of new staff. They played St. Louis, who has been here before. But Utah on our end was the host. They couldn't have had a better experience. And honestly, they came in and they thought the bar was pretty low. They're like, oh, we're going to Des Moines. We'll see what happens. But we had 9,000 people show up for that like neutral game. Like I know we have St. Louis Blues fans here. So I think that was a good showing for us. So I think we'll have more opportunities for NHL too. And to have 2 in 1 year, it was awesome. It really was. But yes, the answer is yes.
Excellent. So I know you got to turn the arena around from hockey to basketball to wrestling. When do you start turning the arena into the Casey Center?
Oh, yeah. So that's Wells Fargo's under contract through the end of June, and Casey Center will be up on the building July 1.
Wow.
So you got a month to turn everything over.
Wow.
Wow. The end of June. You got a day to turn that thing over.
This is months long project. Like we're ready to roll. I mean, like, look, if I don't know, Ross, you've been down to the building, right?
Yeah,
like starting January 1, like Hy-Vee Hall is no longer. It's EMC Expo Center. And we had to deal with that not deal with it, but just work out that transition over the holidays. So like that deal came much later than Casey's, and we had a much quicker turn. And if you walk in now to EMC Expo Center, it's signage everywhere where it's EMC Expo Center. The stuff outside is all temporary because all of the permanent stuff is being fabricated. On the Casey side, at least we have 5 or 6 months to get all this done. But no, July 1, you're going to see everything up, and it will be the Casey Center.
So, I mean, will it be almost like a David Copperfield type of pull the banner?
It will.
There's Casey's, and while we're dismantling the Wells Fargo, wow.
It will, Ross. And I'm telling you, if you were around, if anybody was around over the holidays here, like somebody saw Hy-Vee Hall at the end of December, and it was EMC Expo Center on Jan 1.
You're a magician.
Incredible.
You are a magician.
They are. Dude, this team is amazing.
It's a lot of meetings, guys, but it's super cool. I mean, EMC is a great partner, and they're in. Like, if you guys come down, walk the building, check out the signage, check out some of the cool stuff they've done. On the Casey side, not only is it just signage and naming rights, they're going to be selling their pizza, which I know we talked about before, but they have their snacks and everything else. Like they're doing a build out of a Casey's mini store on the South Concourse. It's just going to be cool. Like we'll be able to sell their breakfast pizza during the state tournaments, right? Where it's hard to figure out what to sell at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's the perfect spot to sell their breakfast pizza.
Beer.
But now it's
you
going
sell
to be
beer at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
What's that?
Beer. You sell beer at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Not for state tournaments.
I know that, but you want to know what people want?
Yeah.
Beer.
Chris, how much logistically is it different having a state tournament like you're going to be going through than it is having like a one-off event like a concert?
It's a lot different, but just because, Trav just mentioned it, we don't sell beer, right? And like, if you guys walk our concourse, there's a million portables everywhere.
Yeah.
So those kind of go away to make up more space, and we have more points of sale. Like some of our subcontractors, they'll have more spots. Your ice cream, Dippin' Dots, like that kind of stuff, pizza. So it's a little bit different, but at least the good thing is, I mean, especially with girls and boys basketball, we got 2 weeks of it, right? So we set that up and we're pretty well set for 2 weeks. Wrestling's a little trickier because after wrestling's over, it's like, boom, we got a Wolves game on Sunday. So like, we're not hanging out. Like that's all got to be turned over. So it is different. And wrestling's different. I'll tell you guys, the trickiest thing with state wrestling is that there's multiple sessions in a day and you have thousands of people in for one, and you have thousands of people waiting to get in for the other. And that's where wrestling's different. Basketball, girls and boys, is a little different because you buy one ticket, you come in, and you're good for the day. But you guys know you're in, you watch your team play, and you're usually gone for the most part. Wrestling, people are in and out, and they're waiting for the next session. They're waiting to see their class. If they advance, they're coming back. It's nuts. Logistically, it's a lot. We rely on the police, Des Moines PD, and the sheriffs. It is a lot of work. I mean, we're ready to go. I mean, for us, this is all hands on deck all week. Like all full-timers, everybody's in on this.
Well,
Excellent
thanks.
stuff.
You do a great job. It's everybody I talk to loves being down at the state tournament. I mean, I'm sure there are people that bitch because people find anything to bitch about. But
appreciate it, guys.
You bet.
All
buddy.
right, buddy. We'll
keep
keep
kicking
in touch.
butt.
All right. Thanks,
Guys,
Chris.
congrats on the new show, and thanks for having me on. All right.
Thanks a lot,
Yep.
Chris. Talk to you soon,
See you
brother.
guys.
Chris Conley from the Iowa Event Center, Wells Fargo Arena, joining us. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Always. What awesome insight for I didn't know professional volleyball was a thing. I didn't know it was in Omaha. And for him to be able to break that down and go, oh, yeah, I know how much money they're making. We've done the analysis to figure out what we could do in Des Moines. It fits better on the eastern part of the state.
Isn't that weird what 100 miles
surprise
can
him.
do, though? Isn't that, I mean, you and I are separated by 100 miles. You come over here and you 14,000 for a freaking volleyball match. And you're like, really? That just shows you how big volleyball is.
Which that doesn't really surprise me. I mean, there might be some people out there that are blown away by that. And that's a bigger number than I would have guessed.
Yes.
But, man, volleyball is exciting. When it's played at that level, it is really fun to watch. And just freak athletes, man, leaping out of the building. And like they're on springs, jump, land, jump, land, jump. It's a really impressive sport to watch when it's played at that level.
Now, here's the hard part about a sport like that. And this is no disrespect to the sport of volleyball. I like the sport of volleyball. Is that you have a league, right? Well, who else in the league do you think is putting up numbers like that? Nobody.
Oh, I
right?
see what you're saying. Yeah.
So
yeah.
You have one franchise that is basically keeping the league afloat, but these other franchises aren't getting these numbers, and financially it's going to be hard for a league to make it like that just because you don't have those other cities that are packing arenas like one sticks out doing. So that's always the tricky part of it. But always good stuff from Chris. He's going to be a regular on the show as we like to hear from him. He's the type of guy you just want to go to the bar and have a beer with. You know?
Fun guy to have a beer at the bar with. Promise you that.
And if you go down to Carl's, he's usually there.
Why would you say that? Don't do that to the man.
Well, no, because when people go, hey, I saw you on The Rush. That's what we want to do. When you see Chris, just go, hey, we heard you or saw you on The Rush.
Great guy. I've said this a lot, and I think people can understand it. And being able to see him maybe does help to understand and hear things like that. This dude, we are so lucky in Des Moines to have that guy running the arena. He's been here for north of a decade now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times those positions, as you know, Travis, are revolving doors because guys are constantly trying to move up the ladder and move to different places and get going. He likes it here, and we're lucky that he has decided to keep his talent and his team here and his team intact. He's got a great group of people that work for him, too. I think that's another thing about Chris he does a great job with, honestly. Most of the people I've known that have worked for Chris over the years have been fantastic.
Now, before we started the interview with Chris, you made the announcement that we have tickets to the Iowa State-Colorado game tonight with Johnny.
With tickets to Johnny's, yep.
Yes. So I'll let you figure out how we're going to do that.
All right.
Or how do we win it? Because the phone line's not working right now.
That's what I was thinking. So we'll have to do something that we do. We'll probably have to utilize Twitter again, right?
It was Facebook last time. The hard part with Twitter is everybody's got fake names.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you and your fake name Twitter things. That's right. I forgot about that. You fake namers. I mean, my name doesn't have an underscore in it, so I can't speak.
And the people on YouTube are like, you know what? How about the community that's on YouTube?
I'm okay with that, and we can build our YouTube chat and our YouTube family that way. I'm good with that. Is there a way that we can connect with people through the YouTube chat though? Can you do that? Like, can you like if we decide we're going to give them to somebody?
Figuring this out on the fly.
Can we-
No. Here's what I can do. Here's what I can do to YouTubers live. I can delete their comment. I can put a user in timeout, or I can ban them. And I don't want to ban people.
Yeah, I don't like any of those options.
Yeah.
Do you want to put people in timeout? No, we want to promote them.
Let Ross and I think about it. We'll come back. It's good to have you along on a cold Tuesday morning. It's the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.
Doug Burgess, Service Manager here at Willis Infinity. As we move into 2025, I want to say one final thank you for what 2024 has brought to us. Getting the opportunity to meet many of you customers, and for you, voting us the #1 Google-ranked dealership in the Midwest. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And to know why, and to have that Willis experience yourself, stop on in or go online to make your appointment at willisinfinity.com.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbox to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. With more than 25 years of experience, Gary has been Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. With creativity and professionalism, Gary is dedicated to finding unique programs to help you afford the home you deserve. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank/Gary Presnall. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's Valentine's month and sweet deals are in the air. Hi, I'm Josh Romick, Service Manager at Willis Lexus. We have our popular Spend More and Save More with up to a 25% discount on services over $1,000. And don't forget about our Lexus Tire Price Match Promise. Find the right tire at the right price. We'll match any advertised price on tires. If you'd like to schedule, give us a call or visit us online at willislexus.com. Have a happy Valentine's Day.
Not too many places hit all the right notes. But when it comes to great atmosphere and delicious scratch-made food, Truman's is the name to know. Game days are for Chiefs fans, but every day is for the food fans. Truman's, get to know us by name.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Rush Mornings. Like the Facebook page, and, of course, follow us on Instagram. And you can listen to The Rush Radio Show all day long at therushradio.com. What are you laughing about?
Lots of stuff, man. Lots of stuff. I've got some fun ideas, but I saw what made me laugh there was a commenter, Tommy Pickles. I wonder if that's my barber. Big Eagles fan. Remember I told you he actually went to Philadelphia. He didn't have tickets for the NFC Championship, but he went there to be there to.
Oh, yes. I remember that. It is.
That's Tommy.
That's Tommy? Your barber? He does a mighty fine job cutting your hair.
People always say to me, Ross, how you look so fly? I hear it every day. People come up to me and they go, Ross, you look so fly. How you look so fly? And I say, it's Tommy.
Tommy Pickle. All right, we have Iowa State playing Colorado tonight. It is the third time this year already these two teams have played. Iowa State's a 17.5-point favorite. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole just because anything close to 20, I start.
I'm with you. A 15-point game in Division I basketball is kind of a blowout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or it's a type of game that has like a bad beat written all over it. Like it's like at that 20 to 18-point game the whole way, and then half quarter goes in to make it a 16-point
Iowa State's going to pulls all of its starters. Every guy that's ever had minutes is off the court. They hit a couple threes. It ends up being a 14-point game. I'm with you. I wouldn't. You just described all the reasons I try not to bet on things like this. But we do have tickets.
Yes. Did you figure out during the break how you wanted to give them away?
Somebody had an idea on our YouTube chat, and I thought it might be kind of fun.
Okay.
But I need you to, at some point, I'm going to need you to take the reins and do this, okay? Because they suggested that we do best Iowa State memory. But theirs was like, well, I remember when, I don't remember who it was they picked. Like it was something that happened on the court. I don't think that's quite the fun that we like to have.
I would agree with that.
So what could we do that would be a fun Iowa State memory, but it can't be something that happened on the court? It can't be
So if you were part of the Visha riots, that would be a fun Iowa State memory. If you set fire to something on Welch Avenue,
taking the reins.
That's an Iowa State memory.
I knew it. I just had to build the cart and say, all right.
Yeah. Favorite ISU memories, Kenny Pratt.
Now, play into the crowd. Remember, we have the newspaper article. Remember that.
Yes.
It's here somewhere.
As Ross looks for it. There it is. Ross, are those old Big Peaches, or did they just turn that color?
They've just turned this color over the years. This is what, yeah. This one down here is about Ryan Leaf's future.
We know how that worked out.
Should we read it and see how close they came to predicting it?
Ryan Leaf's future of the National Football League. Non-existent.
Here it is. Boss, driver didn't know about Pratt. So there's the article about Kenny Pratt. I like that. That's a good one. That's a fun memory. I doubt he was at the game.
Yeah. We got some stuff coming in. True Nature Wellness Spa. See, we can't give tickets away to True Nature Wellness Spa. Unless that's your place of business.
Well, obviously it is. Matt Dolan says he was at the. This might be our winner. We might have hit the gold here. Matt Dolan says he was at the game where Kenny Pratt, the Des Moines Dragons game where he ran from the cops, Blues Brothers style.
You might have been the only person at the game.
Favorite Iowa State memory was able to spend my 7th grade career day with Coach Johnny Orr. That's pretty cool.
How do you make that phone call for career day? I want to be a coach. I'm going to spend it with Johnny Orr. Hey, coach, can I spend the day with you for career day? And then he said yes. That's pretty awesome.
That's really, really awesome.
Because no coach would do that today, right? You call up the athletic department. Hey, I want to spend my day with Kirk Ferentz or Matt Campbell. It's career day, and I'm thinking I want to be a football coach.
You'd hear a dial tone as the response.
Click. The administrative assistant walks in. Coach Campbell, yes, little Tommy wants to come in for career day. No relation to you whatsoever, but he's thinking about being a football coach when he grows up, and he has a 7th grade assignment. Would you spend the day with Tommy?
All right, Scott, we're gonna need some more information on this. Scott says after a basketball win, a mob broke into Jack Trice, tore down the goalpost, and put him in Lake Laverne. When did that happen?
Yeah, let us know what game that was. That's a cool memory, because you can rush the court, but that thrill is gone after about 30 seconds.
How does that? I want to talk about that for a moment, because that's a phenomena that they would be able to maintain that momentum. Travis, you're down on the court. You're right. That dies off. Fast. You go down there and you jump around. Yeah. All right. Woo. I can't believe we won.
Let's go have a beer.
It was fun.
Instead, it's like, let's go to the football stadium.
And that's the point where you're like, all right, woo, you guys ready to head home? All right, that was fun. That was great. Can you believe we stormed the court? How do you keep it where you're like, yeah, we won. We won. Let's go break into the football stadium.
Shows you what the security was kind of like in the football stadium back then.
Let's go rip out the goalposts.
Here, give me a line on our way there. Who's got more Coke? And that had to be cold.
Wait, he says it was an away game? What the hell? Wait.
So you're sitting in the bar and they pull off an upset and you go down to the football stadium? Man. If that's true, I don't remember it.
When did that happen, Scott? Yeah, how are we missing this? Because Tony wrote in and he says, hey, I'm a Hawk fan, but I remember some coverage of those goalposts being put in Lake Laverne.
It was the UAB.
No, Tyler's trolling there,
man,
dude.
Look at you, Tyler. I took it hook, line, and sinker. That's a pretty good memory, though. I'm willing to give it to him.
I like that one. That one's pretty good. Listen, I like Matt's of being at the game of the Kenny, because we said what's an off court memory you have. That might be number one. Huh. I will tell you, Amy just put one. I'll give you guys a good one that I've had, okay? Because Amy said, a very recent memory, I sat behind Curtis Jones at the Drake game on Sunday. Very polite and personable. Took pics and shook hands with people during the halftime. Great character. Last year, during the wheelchair basketball event at Can Play, we played against the Iowa State guys that were there for NIL. And Abu Sama was on their team. Wonderful young man, really fun to talk to. Seemed like he was super polite. That was a fun one. I've had the same. I mean, Travis, we've had those with a lot of coaches and athletic directors and stuff like that. Jamie Pollard is the same way. I've loved my conversations with Jamie Pollard. Fun guy to talk to. Really smart.
Ooh. Larry Eustace going to a college party and drinking with the opposing
come on,
school.
but that's not...
That's trolling too, but that is a really good memory if you were actually in the room partying with Larry Eustace.
There you go. That's the thing of like, my favorite sports memory is I went to a kegger one night and I looked around and Larry Eustace was standing in the corner. My buddy was like, hey, you see that guy in the corner? That's Iowa State's coach.
Some good memories coming in.
But I feel like those, and I saw that one come up a few times before, and I didn't want to mention that one because I felt like they weren't saying, "Hey, I experienced that. I had a, listen, that would be cool. I'm not knocking on Larry Eustace on this. I'm not. Any college kid, any fan would think it was cool to have a beer with Bill Self, John Calipari. If you're telling me if you walk, I have a buddy, my buddy John Michelson has this weird story about running into Pat Riley at like a donut shop in Santa Barbara or something. You remember those things, running into those players and those coaches and having just a brief little interaction with them. That's cool. My dad had that with Joe Theismann. Ran into him at an airport one time, and was apparently a super nice guy.
That's a great memory. A lot of people are wondering how we got Iowa State tickets when they won't let us hang up our banners inside the restrooms.
Connections, baby.
Connections. Our good friends over at Choice Creative.
We'll hand the credit to them. I will say this. The person who gave us these tickets did not want credit for giving us the tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you get to go to Johnny's. And these were thrown on us late, so that's why we were probably a little ill prepared for this.
Man, that didn't happen.
What's that? When Fred Hoiberg had a dunk contest versus Dominique Wilkins at Lincoln's new gym?
No way.
I don't remember that.
I remember Fred Hoiberg and Hurl Beacham had a really good state basketball tournament game. I feel like that one was at Lincoln when North and Ames played each other. I felt like that game was at Lincoln for some reason.
Well, if it would have been state, it would have been at the old Vets Auditorium. That's not an Iowa State memory. That's a high school memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the classic show where we just start thinking on the air and have we rely on everybody else's feedback. All right, Ross, who are we going to give it to?
I think, so we've got a couple of them that I think we got to pick between here.
Okay.
It's got to be either the Lake Laverne story is amazing.
But is it true? Is it true?
Man, we've had some people say that that they remember that.
And if just the fact that if you did think of it on the fly, it's a pretty good memory if it's painted in your head, even if it's, not 100% accurate.
So I would say we either go with Matt, who was at the Kenny Pratt game. I'm a big fan of that. I don't know why. That was like, when I heard that, I'm like, well, that's probably our winner. But tearing down the goalposts on an away game and throwing them into the lake, that's quality.
That's quality. Because you were part of the mob mentality at that point. Should we just say, okay, that's a memory that's true, and we'll go with it?
I think that's the one we go with. If that fits, they both fit exactly what I was hoping for.
Do you remember who said it?
Well, can't we roll back on the comments and see? I can do that. I can go back and see. Yeah. I'm almost there.
So what you need to do is...
Yeah, I got it. I got who it was.
Email Ross at therushradio.com. Email Ross at therushradio.com and claim your tickets. We'll get you the link. Because the great thing about tickets now is we can just give them away and they're emailed to you and you'll have them in your inbox within a matter of minutes once we get that information. So email Ross at therushradio.com. All right. I got to gather myself because that took a lot out of me just because it was kind of a cluster. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up today's show on therushradio.com.
Oh, boy.
That's right, Brian. It's tailgate season, and Central City's got everything a good tailgate needs.
We have all the beer,
All the good party drinks,
and don't forget the White Claw,
hot dogs, brats, and chips,
kegs, and eggs.
And if you fill up your cooler with beer from Central City, we'll throw in the ice for free. By the way, what team is this supposed to represent?
All the teams, Brian, all the teams. I don't discriminate. Tailgate time.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Is something in your attic keeping you up at night? Don't let unwanted guests take over your home. With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's trusted expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly wildlife solutions at a fair price. We safely remove bats, squirrels, raccoons, birds, and more so you can sleep soundly again. For a free estimate, call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400.
Hey, I'm Mason out here at Mini of Des Moines, one of the motor advisors. Currently this month, love is in the air. We are doing a $1,000 mini loyalty on Countryman, $750 on all other models excluding the BEV. Also, we are doing a $500 Conquest cash on select models, so you do get a benefit even if you're not a Mini owner. So for more information, stop at our showroom, come see me. We're happy to get that information going, or see us on our Mini website, miniofdesmoines.com.
When it comes to mortgages, no one is more trusted than Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines, Iowa's top mortgage banker for the past 5 years. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage & Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
Do you have a pest problem? With over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. I want to thank Chris Conley for joining us today at 7 o'clock. If you missed any of that, it's going to be up on the replay, so check out that good interview with Chris Conley.
Hey, Scott, make sure you also email Travis at therushradio.com.
Why's that?
We'll talk later.
Is it not working?
I can't get in.
Can you get in on your desktop?
And we're gonna try. That's what I was trying there. We're gonna try it on this computer because that's where I set it up. So anyway.
Yeah, you do that, but I'm heading like straight to meetings. So
oh, gee, no, we'll get it. We'll make sure we take because I think Scott and I are friends, maybe on Facebook too or something. I will make sure I track him down. Okay.
So I'm just. It's fun to watch all the comments come in. Our listeners are the absolute best, and you know we're starting. This is our 4th week. We've been doing this 4 weeks now, and thank you for taking the time to join us each and every morning. It is very, very much appreciated, and of course supporting our local advertisers that are making this possible because it would not be possible without them. Caitlin Clark's agent came out yesterday, Ross, and we don't have much time to talk about this, but she said that Caitlin Clark could never be paid the worth that she brings to the WNBA. And an economist at the University of Indiana said that Caitlin Clark alone had a $37 million economic impact on the city of Indianapolis last year. Wow. And that Caitlin Clark can be attributed to 27% of the economic activity in the WNBA last year.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And a lot, maybe some players and some people are like, what are you doing this for? This is all strategic in my mind. Because the collective bargaining agreement ends at the end of this season, which there could be a strike, which would be very, very bad for the WNBA. The last thing they ever want to do is a work stoppage. But what I think Caitlin Clark's agent is doing here right now is putting some figures out there, using Caitlin Clark as the figurehead, going, okay, here's the most popular player in the league. She's undervalued. She's underpaid. She's only going to make $78,000 this year in the WNBA. But you put out she's undervalued. This is what she meant to Indianapolis. This is what she's meant to the WNBA. It's setting the stage for negotiations that will happen in the CBA. That's what I think is going on here.
So Travis, I had the initial reaction that I think you were afraid most people did. I thought, what are you doing? You're going to overplay your hand here. And because I thought this was a play for Caitlin Clark. I thought that this was a way for her agent to say, hey, we're coming for the gold, back up the truck. But I think that you're right, that what she's really saying here is we are coming, and not me and my client. Me and my client and her entire league, when we get to the collective bargaining agreement, you guys need to understand that we see the score now. The person who's driving all of this is on our side of the negotiation. I think that's really smart, Trav, because I did exactly what you thought people would do, where I heard the headline and I was like, great. Now it's going to be about making all the money. And
I mean, is she worth more than $78,000 a year? Absolutely. 100%. And that's why you have to use Caitlin Clark as, is she the pawn in the chess game, or is she the bishop or the queen? I don't know, but what I'm saying is you're making the first move with her because she's got the biggest name, and you say, hey,
I think in that analogy, Trav, I think she's the queen.
I don't know how to play chess, so I'll go with you.
I think, I would, because she's the most important piece on the board.
100%. And Asia Wilson's, we've said this, Asia Wilson's the best player in the league. She's
Yes.
not the most popular player in the league.
The league has had a couple of different best players in the league. None of them have ever been named Caitlin Clark. None of them have had any of the impact that Caitlin Clark has had. Both of those are facts.
Usually I'm behind on something like this, but I think I've been around enough CBAs in different leagues to say, this is the game they're playing. And, you had the Super Bowl commercial. You had all that. Her Nike shoe is coming out. And so you just kind of paint the picture of she only makes $78,000. This is what she meant to the city. This is what she meant to the league. And the league as a whole is growing. Get ready to negotiate under fair terms. And that's the first move in what I think will be the negotiations of the collective bargaining agreement for the WNBA. They should all get paid more. But let's be honest, before Caitlin Clark, that league was not making money. I don't think it even made money last year. And it still needs to be subsidized by the NBA. But hell, the way the NBA is going, the NBA is going to be like, hey, we're not going to give you any money pretty soon. We got to worry about our own game.
That All-Star weekend was a disaster.
An absolute disaster.
But it's Caitlin Clark's fault. Remember, according to Rob Parker.
I'm Rob Parker. This is what's happening. But you know what? Not too many people have this power. And
very few, dude. Very few. Yeah, I'm with you, Travis. If her agent is doing what you say, very smart move, and it's going to help the league a lot. Going to help the players in the league a lot.
Yes. And people are going to look back and say, Thank you, Kate. Well, some people will bitch about it because they want to be famous too.
Some people will bitch because they're just going to bitch. I mean, people are going to bitch just because Caitlin Clark didn't support their political candidate. Or Caitlin Clark doesn't wear the right, didn't go to Iowa State. Didn't blah, blah, blah. There's a million reasons people will come up with not to hate her.
Well, we're done. I'm always sad when we're done because we always have fun. We hope you had fun with us this morning.
Today, 2 hour delay for the kids, so now I just get to hang out here. Normally I'm racing out the door.
My kid doesn't even have school today. We don't do that 2 hour late start thing over here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Rush Mornings, like our Facebook page, and of course, you can follow us on Instagram. Also, you can listen all day long at therushradio.com. Click that Listen Live link, or the podcast feed is up there if you want to start from the very beginning. For Ross Peterson, I'm Travis Justice. We'll talk to you tomorrow on The Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.